Long ago, when the world was still young and God's voice was heard clearly by the faithful, there lived a man named Abraham. He was a man of deep faith, chosen by God to be the father of many nations. His life was one of wandering and trusting, of hearing God's promises and believing them even when they seemed impossible. Abraham had longed for a child for many years, and when his body had grown old and his wife Sarah had passed the age of childbearing, God gave them a miracle, a son named Isaac. Isaac was the child of promise, the living proof that God's word never fails. Abraham loved him dearly, as any father would, for Isaac was not just his son but also the symbol of all that God had promised him. One quiet day, when Abraham thought his life had finally found peace, God spoke again. But this time, his words carried a weight heavier than anything Abraham had ever known. "Abraham," God called, "take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains I will show you." The words must have pierced Abraham's heart like a sword. How could God ask this of him, the very child he had promised? Yet Abraham did not argue, did not question, did not delay. Faith and obedience filled his heart where fear might have lived. He trusted that God had a purpose, even if he could not see it. Early the next morning, Abraham rose before the sun. He split wood for the offering, saddled his donkey, and took with him 2 servants and his beloved Isaac. For 3 days they traveled in silence through rocky paths and dry winds. Abraham's thoughts must have been heavy, but his face remained calm. On the 3rd day, he lifted his eyes and saw the mountain in the distance. He told his servants to wait behind, saying, "Stay here with the donkey. The boy and I will go over there to worship, and then we will come back to you." His words carried a quiet faith. Somehow, he believed that both he and Isaac would return. Isaac, carrying the bundle of wood on his back, walked beside his father. "Father," he asked softly, "the fire and the wood are here, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" The question must have shaken Abraham to the core, yet his reply was steady and full of faith. "My son, God himself will provide the lamb." They climbed together, step after painful step, until they reached the place God had shown Abraham. There, Abraham built an altar and arranged the wood upon it. Then, with trembling hands, he bound Isaac and laid him on the altar. His heart must have been breaking, but his obedience to God was stronger than his fear. Just as Abraham reached for the knife to offer his son, the voice of an angel called out from heaven, "Abraham! Abraham!" He stopped at once and answered, "Here I am." The angel said, "Do not lay your hand on the boy or do anything to him, for now I know that you fear God, since you have not withheld your son, your only son."